am Jumes and this is the 6th episode of the SupremeItem tutorial series. In the last episode we explained how to use condition action and some basics about placeholders. Before starting, I would suggest you to join our Discord server, where you will be able to ask for more specific support, suggest new features and see items created by other people. The link of the Discord server is in the description. I will also ask you to put a like to support me and my work with this plugin. In this way you might help other people find and use this plugin. In this episode we will see how we can loop actions to execute them multiple times. To loop actions we mainly have two ways, the TimerAction and the RepeatUntilAction. The TimerAction has two numeric parameters, repetitions, which will define how many times the actions will be repeated, and timer, which will define the time in ticks between two actions executions. We have an actions parameter too, that defines the list of actions that will be executed constantly. The RepeatUntilAction has one numeric parameter, timer, which will define the time in ticks before two actions executions, and a condition that will define when the repetition will stop. For example, if we have a condition that checks if the entity is on ground inside here, the loop will stop as soon as the entity touches the ground. We have the actions parameter here too, and we have another parameter, final actions, that defines the list of actions that will be executed once the condition explained before is finally reached. Let's try to make as an example a sword that applies a bleeding effect on the hit enemy for 3 seconds, applying some damage and displaying some redstone block particles for each second. We can achieve this using TimerAction. Let's start by creating an item. Let's start by typing /si-list to open the item GUI and adding a new item. Let's then drag and drop this iron sword inside the item parameter to set it directly. And let's then change the name to bleeding sword, for example, like this. Now we can add our skills. In particular, we want to add an on-entity hit skill. We then go inside the on-damaged actions, since we want to apply our actions to the damaged entity. From here we add a timer action, which is located under the meta folder, wrapper folder, and is this one, execute actions on a timer. Let's now set the timer to 20, which is 20 ticks, 1 second. And let's set the repetition to 3, since we want to apply this 3 times. Let's then add inside the actions parameter the damage action, which is found under the entity targetable damage action. Let's keep the amount to 1. Let's now add the particles under location actions, particles. Now, since we want redstone block particles, we have to set the type to block crack. After this, in the parameter data that appears, we set the material to a redstone block, which is right here. Let's now add some more particles, and here we are. Our item is complete. Let's now try our new sword on this zombie. Let's get it inside our hands by middle-clicking it inside the item GUI list. We then hit him, and as we can see, the bleeding effect is working finally. So we can say that our item works perfectly. Let's now try to create an item that, once you activate sneak, it makes you invisible until you stop sneaking. We can achieve this easily with RepeatUntilAction. Let's create a new item. Here it is. Let's go inside the skill set and let's add the on-entity sneak skill. Let's go inside the on-entity actions and let's add a RepeatUntilAction, which is found under the meta folder, wrapper folder, and here it is, execute until condition is true. Let's now modify the condition. We want to stop the effect when the condition is target is not sneaking. So let's go inside this. Let's modify the placeholder by right-clicking it. Let's go inside player properties, is a sneaking placeholder. After this, we need to negate the condition. So we can see that the condition is not target is sneaking. The timer will be kept to 5, and let's then add the effect action inside our actions. Here it is, effect action. We want to apply some invisibility effect, let's say for 10 ticks. Now let's add some particles when the entity stops sneaking. So we have to add a particle action inside our final actions parameter. Let's say we want to keep the fireworks sparks. Let's increase the count a little bit. Let's increase the offset for a little bit, and let's increase the speed. And here we are. Let's try the item. Let's middle click it from the list GUI, and here we have it in our hands. Let's try sneak, and we are invisible. If we stop sneaking, we can see some particles are displayed correctly, so the item works perfectly. So, to recap, in this video we saw how to loop actions to repeat them multiple times. In the next video we will talk about variables and how to use them. For this episode is all. I hope you have enjoyed this day, and goodbye.